You are listening to an interview by Soundlink Magazine, featuring Scary Kids Scaring Kids, with Trenton Worsham.
I hear that, you guys were basically, broken up in 2010 and everything, and it is 2019, 9 years later and stuff. You guys are deciding to come back and do this 15-year tour and everything. So behind the scenes and everything, what was the thought processes on, hey, let's get back together, let's do this tour and everything, and come back for a bit?
Yeah, so Chad wrote this song, Loved Forever, Tyson, and so there was a really great positive reaction to that, and we got contacted by a booking agent who had mentioned that he felt we could really do some good numbers for a tour, and I was like, we were kind of surprised. We're like, do people really still want to see it? Like, it's been a long-ass time. And he's like, yeah, man, I really think so. So we went through it, and he showed us kind of some of the rooms that these promoters felt confident we could fill, and we started getting excited about it again and thinking about what that could be. So obviously, there's a big piece missing from the band now, and to be honest, that's the reason that we never felt a reunion tour would be a reality or feel right. And the only way that we felt this could come together is if Cove Reber, who we toured with during Warped Tour with Seosin, and he filled in for us then, would potentially take the spot of vocalist, and that just hasn't been an option. It hasn't been the right time. And when Cove said that he would be absolutely stoked and super enthusiastic and available to do it, then at that point I think it felt real, and we thought that we had something, and we're ready for it. Yeah.
Okay. One of the notes I have is that that year he filled in, it also had Craig Mabbitt, Brendan Bolmer, Vic Fuentes, along with Cove, filling in on some of those days and stuff. So of all those guys, why was it Cove and versus like a Craig or a Brandon or Vic or somebody like that? Was Cove somebody you guys just gets vibed with better, or you thought he fit the part better or something?
Yeah, so you're literally listing some of our favorite people, not only to tour with but in the world. I think Vic, man, Vic from Pierce, Craig, all those dudes, Brandon, they're all some of the most genuine and amazing dudes. And those few days were kind of tough because we didn't know what we were going to do on Warped Tour, and they all stepped up to the plate and really knocked it out of the park, and kind of created a scary kids karaoke that actually was a lot of fun in a different way, and so we love all those dudes equally, but yeah, Cove was just really the guy that we wanted at the forefront for a full tour.
Okay, and obviously, when this is out, people are listening to it, which is going to be in a couple of days, or reading it, and people are going to be excited. People are going to, have seen the teasers, but something that's, I guess new for you guys is a whole social media thing other than MySpace, because I think when you guys were, coming to an end, MySpace was still, maybe on its way out, so it's still pretty, common for people to have them, and Facebook was, just sort of getting going, and so. With Twitter, Instagram, even some artists now using TikTok and that kind of stuff to promote music and all that. How have you guys been, I guess, navigating this digital world, I guess, for promoting this type of stuff on these new platforms that you guys didn't have to use, 10 years ago when you guys ended?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, to be honest, we were really worried. We're like, oh my God, we literally do not have an Instagram page for the band. We have a few 100,000 on Facebook, which is good. But the last post was in 2009, and we're like, all right, there's not going to be any engagement. So yeah, that's for sure a worry. But from the announcement yesterday, the buzz, which obviously won't be yesterday when this gets out there, but the buzz has been pretty good, and the reactions have been pretty solid, and hopefully the word will spread. I think the energy in the room is going to be the most important part of the shows for us, and really getting the right room size with the right amount of people in there is going to be fantastic. So we hope people hear about it, and we'll do what we can to get the word out. But yeah, I mean, the reaction has been great, even though, to your point, we haven't used anything since we played our last show 10 years ago.
Have you guys, even though you guys haven't updated the Facebook, have you guys ever, logged in over the past 10 years to read some messages or see some, kind of like behind the scenes to see, people asking if you guys are coming back, or, fans messaging out of the blue, talking about your music on their impacts on their life or anything like that?
Yeah, I saw that. No, I haven't, Chad. I don't know if you have, but we lost the password, man. We literally lost the password for the Facebook site, and had a lot of hard work trying to find it again.
Nice. Now, with you guys, being some original members of the band and everything, and Chad being a songwriter in the band and stuff, you guys sort of coming together. I guess bringing this back, bringing in Cove for it. Does it feel like like the first time again? Like from 10 years ago, coming back together. Obviously, it's a little different. Now actually, it's a lot different. But as far as like starting a band and getting to go on the road with some of your best friends, is that feeling like coming back for you guys?
Yeah, man. It's interesting because I haven't played at all. Chad's continued to play, but I haven't played at all for a very long time. I kind of no, not going to do this because I'll get excited about it, and I don't want to get excited about it. So coming back, I'm reusing all these parts of my brain that have kind of subdued, and it's really rewarding in that sense of like freedom to be creative with a group of your close friends, be it like just getting creative about like, oh, how are we going to tell people? That's like a fun problem to figure out, or like, I don't know, what kind of t-shirt like just all this stuff is really exciting. And just thinking, I talked to Cove for a good hour yesterday, and just reconnecting with him and kind of sharing stories about each other, him sharing some of his stories that he's held on to about Tyson. We haven't really talked since Tyson has passed away, and just talking about a million other things. It's like, a lot of people, some people get to have these reunions with people that they really care about in their life. I don't think other people are usually a part of those relationships, right? Like, I don't think there's usually an audience to a friendship, and we get to share that excitement with other people that have been a part of this friendship and brotherhood that we've had throughout the years. And I think that's even more exciting because we're like, wasn't this great? And then like after that conversation or that drink you have with a friend, like the people that used to be fans of the band also get to share their stories, and like we get to remember those stories as well. So it kind of like elevates it in a strange and very original way to reunite as a band, as opposed to just reuniting as like best friends.
Yeah. So
I got to say I'm very excited to be out with my super close friends again, because it's definitely been a second, and some of those times were the best times of our lives. So I'm very excited to get back out.
Awesome. Yeah. Something that I was told before this and everything to do sort of some prep is like you guys actually haven't like physically been with Cove in like 10 years or so, right? Or like all this has been over the phone, over the internet and stuff. And so like how have those interactions been, like getting him to do this and stuff? I mean, you haven't even like, I guess, like physically been in the same room in like so long.
That's actually not entirely true. I was in Manhattan Beach like 5 or 6 years ago, and I saw Cove running across the street with a pizza, and I shouted at him, and he shouted back, and then we got really stoked. But he was in a rush somewhere, and I was in a rush in the other direction. So we're like, yo, let's catch up. No, cool, man, can't wait. And so we have it. Just for the record, man, we have interacted. But yeah, no, we haven't been in the same room. So yeah, no, it was just all over text and how every other normal human communicates.
Yeah. Something interesting is the album you guys are touring on and stuff. And I know it's the 15 years of this one and stuff. But what did you guys talk about? Maybe doing something for the self-titled first, or what was the I guess the decision leading up to do the album tour for this particular record?
Yeah, I think it kind of feels serendipitous that 15 years ago we released that record, and that was the record that kind of got us our like grassroots fan base. That was kind of the album that like communicated with people, or like maybe launched their interest in our sound, and so that's a special aspect of it. Something else that we're really excited about is that Pete Costa, who was a founding member of the band, is also available to do this tour, and he wrote that album. In fact, he still has the drum set that I remember him buying on, like, so was it eBay, right?
Yeah, I think it was from like Taylor Hawkins off eBay.
Yeah, that's the story he tells. He says,
Yeah,
yeah, supposedly, let's see if that's true. But supposedly he purchased it off Taylor Hawkins, who, like, you know, is obviously like a god, right? So, so he recorded on the City Sweeps and Flames with that drum set, and we called him to see if he'd be down for this reunion tour, the 15-year reunion of the release. He was like, yes, and I still have that drum set that I recorded the album on. So
Nice.
he's going to be playing on those same drums. So we're going to get the sound as close as possible, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, so a lot of the things that bands do when they do these anniversary tours and stuff is they, I guess, repress or put on vinyl that record for the first time, or reprinted it. Has there been any talks to do maybe like a limited tour run of this record, or put some up online to see if people, you know, buy it or anything? Or are you guys just strictly, you know, saying, hey, we're just, you know, doing this tour and that's it kind of thing?
Yeah, I think certainly we'll want to make the music available. I think the key point of this is just for us to get in a room and play together and kind of reconnect with each other and the people that enjoy the music. There's no like direct agenda or plans to release a vinyl, but I think you're right, we probably should. We released like a limited edition one, but we should probably release something that doesn't have a limited run that people can purchase whenever they want. It's also the City Sweeps and Flames is and the self-titled are available online for the digital copies. And to be completely honest, the limited run was mainly for the band members to have their own vinyls. so we just kind of made a few more for anyone else that wanted them.
That's funny because like I see a lot of, you know, bands, you know, do these limited run, you know, tour editions and throw them up online and stuff, and sometimes they don't even get one because it's all pressed somewhere else and put up online from another website, and the band never sees it. And so like sometimes you'll have like these band guys on Facebook or in other groups and stuff, they're like asking if a fan has an extra copy they could buy off of them of their own record because they weren't able to get one.
Yeah, that sounds just like bad planning to me.
Yeah, speaking of planning, I mean, this wasn't planned, but some of these dates actually fall on the 10-year anniversary of the last time you were in at that venue or playing that show and stuff. I think one of the dates I was told was like next year in December 23rd or December 20th, somewhere around there in 2020, and that was like 10 years to the day that you guys were playing last at that place. So,
yeah, it's so wild to remember that, man. You're referencing what used to be the White Rabbit.
Okay.
In San Antonio, right?
Yeah, I think that's where it's at. Yeah, I believe that's in San Antonio. I think I've seen when I was younger and stuff, you know, watching videos on YouTube of bands. I think that's one of the ones that came up a lot was the White Rabbit in San Antonio.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was, dude. Again, like it was a total coincidence. There have been a lot of coincidences and a lot of things that have just been like falling perfectly in a place for this tour. And it's been pretty wild. But that's one of them.
Yeah, so going forward and stuff, you know, with this tour and everything, I guess what are some things you guys are, besides playing the shows and stuff and hanging out, like what are some things you guys are looking forward to doing and stuff that you guys haven't been able to do together in like 10 years or whatever?
Chad, you want to take that?
Honestly, for me, I'm just really excited to get back out with my old homies. It's we all live in different states now, so it's very rare that we all get together. And to do something like this is just next level for me.
Yeah.
So really, I'm just excited to get out with you guys and just really for the hangs, and then, you know, the shows. It's just a giant bonus.
Yeah, totally, man. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, as we all become adults, right? We've been adults for a while now, but like as you become adults, you don't get to see your friends as much as you used to. And you know, Scary Kids was a high school band from a small town that just really got fortunate and was in a time when people like were starting to listen to music more frequently over the internet, and we got to do something that like a lot of people want to but never get the opportunity to. And now even as adults, you know, we get to, you know, have sleepovers and then play music all day and wake up and hang out with each other and just travel and explore new cities. Well, you know, travel and explore cities together. which is, it's cool, man. Like, what, you know, like in a weird way, we're going to regress to being kids again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of being kids, you know, you guys were literally kids, like you said, making, you know, when you guys first started. So I guess going back a little bit to touch on a little bit, being one of those bands who I guess sort of, you know, caught fire and stuff from that era that, you know, was so new and fresh at the time. You know what, you know, today, you know, everybody and their cousin, you know, has like some kind of band on the internet or some you know, being some rapper on SoundCloud and stuff, just creating at home and making stuff so easily now versus back then. So I guess doing it that way, I guess the old school way, you know, and you guys, you know, have remained some people's favorite bands all these years. Going back to that and stuff, you know, just reminiscing and from the start, you know, what does it, you know, I guess mean to you guys that you guys were one of those bands who sort of broke out at that time when when this type of music was still, you know, fresh on the internet and everything?
Yeah, man. I think a large part of it was making a personal connection. Like, it's really easy. It's not really easy. It's actually even these SoundCloud artists, right? They, you know, I'm sure they put in hours into making those beats and you know, figuring out what kind of flow they want to put on it. But like for us, like I think it was getting out, taking the big risk and leaving our hometown. And you know, again, we're like 17, 18 when we did our first tour, and we didn't know how to get a vehicle or rent a vehicle or like get something big enough and like whatever, take out a loan or do any of that stuff or make merchandise, right? We're pretty secluded. We didn't know how to solve all these, you know, challenges, and that felt, you know, pretty big and looming over our heads, pretty insurmountable. But I think the best thing that we could have done is just be a little bit fearless with it and believe that it would figure itself out if we just put enough time into it and start charging and making that personal connection by touring, getting in rooms, 100 cap, 50 cap, like chill with people, like show them our sound. I was just talking with Jordan, who's going to be playing bass with us, about like some of the bands that really inspired us, and it's like we're talking about Zayo, right? So some like old school, like Earth Crisis, these old like hardcore bands that would literally play on the ground at your level, and it wasn't necessarily about you know screaming the song back at them or singing along to the music. It was about the energy in the room and being a part of this. Was really felt like a movement, right? And just like being able to be a part of that energy, and the people on stage were are full equals with the band members, and that energy, those kind of bands, along with obviously like a lot of the punk influences, that's the kind of energy that we always wanted to bring to our shows as Scary Kids. And when we played veteran halls in those early days, I think we built the community before we ever had a fan base. And I think that if you look on the comments page and in the announcement, half of those people in there, I know personally, they're, and we have had and have their own like story of us bonding in some way or seeing us at a small venue, and really just like clicking and drinking at the next local bar or whatever it is, right? Whatever that story is, playing Uno on the bus or whatever that is. Like that was always something that I think helped strengthen it. And it's like, I listen to music on the album, cool, right? Is it gonna like break the Billboard charts? No, it hasn't, right? So, but really like the shows and the connection with the music that we've had and with the people that come to the shows has been something that helped us to answer the question, break out of that town and separate ourselves from the people that just throw a song up and kind of go to work.
Yeah, I think your crowds are going to look a little different these days. All those kids are, like my age, like 29, 30 years old, maybe older than that. And so you're like, man. It's I still, go, to a lot of like Emery shows, bands like that who are, older and stuff and still doing it. And the crowd's just so different.
Yeah.
It's like people, with beards, flannel shirts, drinking, sitting around drinking beer and stuff rather than jumping off a stage, like they were when they were like 16 years old. So yeah, I guess we can go there is like, with the crowd and stuff, bringing in some, probably some younger kids who, whose your music were passed along to and stuff. But like, even the older fans, are you anticipating the crowd, acting a little different than maybe what they were, 10 years ago when they were younger?
Yeah, totally. I mean, listen, it's going to be a different show. We're not going to be, we're not going to be going Beach Boys style and pulling up a chair, and I'm not going to sit in front of a piano, right? And and we're not going to like sit down and play around a little campfire up on stage. But so there's definitely still will be high energy, impactful show on stage. But no, listen, I don't expect to create a wall of mosh or whatever, whatever that's called, right? Listen, we've always hoped that our audience would mature with us, and I think we tried to do that on the self-titled and with that album that we were working on that never got released. We always wanted to kind of evolve our musical sense. And listen, if people were coming and everyone had a swoop haircut with bleach, leopard spots, and was wearing their hottest trends from Hot Topic, then I don't know how comfortable I would feel. Not to say that that's a bad style, right? We've all been there,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I do expect if I'm not seeing it walking around the street, then those people aren't going to be at the shows, right? We've all grown up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind me going here, a little bit more of, I guess a tribute type question for you guys and stuff. Being on stage for the first time, obviously with a different singer and stuff, playing these songs that you wrote with Tyson and everything. How emotional do you think that first note or that first song is going to be, being up there, with your band again? But it's a different singer and stuff. Obviously, you guys love Cove and he's a great singer, but it's not going to be the same. And so, what's the emotional experience you think you're going to face being on stage, with all these guys, except it's Cove this time, minus Tyson?
Yeah, so I mean, you're totally right. I think I mentioned that we never thought we'd do a reunion tour because we didn't ever expect anyone to really fill Tyson's shoes. We wanted to do this. We wanted to do this right, and we didn't really know how to do that. Cove makes a lot of sense to us because, as I mentioned, we were sharing stories about Tyson. He knew Tyson. He was Tyson's homie. They're buddies, right? And if anyone's going to honor this tour in the right way, it's going to be him. Are the songs going to sound exactly the same? No, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a different vocal makeup, but Cove's pretty damn close, and I think he also is going to bring what he wants from the songs to the stage, right? And it's going to be a little different, but I think it's still going to be meaningful, and a really good show. Yes, there's going to be a void. There's no question about that. It's something we've talked about a lot, and something that we're still figuring out how to talk about and what to do with. But yeah, I think if anyone's the right person to kind of go through that with us, it's going to be Cove. Yeah. So.
Okay, and I guess the last one here is this is going up on Monday, and so when can people look for the tickets and all that cool stuff, and maybe see who you guys are taking out and everything?
Yeah, totally. That's I think that's all going to be announced on Monday. Actually, don't know. When are we announcing who we're taking out, Chad? Are we doing that Monday with the dates?
If we,
I don't think it's been.
It's not been 100% confirmed yet, but
yeah.
If so, I don't see why not.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think we can say anything yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I really thank you for your time today and everything. I'm looking forward to seeing the tour and what you guys are going to do and stuff. I believe there's a West Coast leg first and then an East Coast leg, correct?
That's right. Yeah, West Coast mid-January is you'll see when this isn't announced, and then we'll be announcing more dates in the fall.